What up? Welcome back to Waiting Part 3. I know you've been waiting for it. Uh, in this uh, talk, we are going to be talking about how we don't just need to be like twiddling our thumbs while we're waiting, right? We can actually be doing something. And that's kind of what actually Advent is all about. Advent, there is this element of waiting, but we're supposed to be preparing our hearts to be ready for Christmas, to receive the gift of Christmas, right? And we prepare our hearts during this time of waiting. And so in the first week, we talked about how waiting can make the thing we're waiting for better, right? And worth the wait. And then last week, we talked about when is it difficult to wait and what can we do to help the time, move faster. And one of the things was not to be hyper focused on the thing we're waiting for, but have something else going on that we can focus on. And so in this week, if we're talking about preparing ourselves, that can be a thing that we focus on instead of just the waiting, right? And so let's put it into concrete, right, examples. Let's say we're waiting for COVID to be over and for lockdowns to be over and for restrictions to be over, right? We don't have to just be idly waiting. This can actually be a very useful time to be thinking about what you want your life to look like on the other side of this, right? Because I think the easy thing is to slide right back in to the old rhythms and routines, whether they were even helpful or not. We'll just go whoop right back into them. But instead, this time could have, in all these previous series, we've talked about things like are we learning what is truly important to us? Are we learning what we want to prioritize? These are things that I'm like talking about. Like we can be preparing for the other side of this now, for what we want to prioritize, for what we want to be important in our life, for what we want to do, for how we want to spend our time, for the people that we want to be around, for the relationships that we want to grow, right? For the ways that we personally want to grow. All of these things we can be thinking about now. We can be planning. We can be figuring out, how do I want to do that, right? How do I want to achieve those things that I desire that my life would look like? All of that work can be happening now instead of just idly waiting, doing nothing. And so that when the world goes back, we just slip right back and it's like none of this ever happened and there was no room or opportunity for growth or change or any of that because we didn't do anything to prepare, right? So waiting carries with it an element of preparation. And that's true in all sorts of things, right? Maybe you were waiting to get your driver's license, right? But you wouldn't just be doing nothing and then one day, boop, you get your license, right? You have to do work to prepare in order to get it. Maybe some of you, the seniors, you're waiting for college. But again, it's not that you're doing nothing, you're actually doing tons of work and preparation so that when the day arrives, you are ready, right? And then even in Advent, when we talk about Christmas time, right? Christmas is about this gift of new life, of God rescuing us from old ways, right? And we can receive that gift like blase, like, oh, cool, thanks, right? That's cool. Or we can truly try to spend time understanding what it means for us, that God would choose to come as a person to be with us, and how that love and that extension of grace can impact and change our lives even today. But it will take a slowing down, a time of reflection, work, right? Preparation, so that when Christmas comes and we open the gifts and we're like, cool, and then it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we're like, well, now it's another day again, right? And when December 26th rolls around, has Christmas, has God arriving truly impacted us and changed us? Or is it just another day? Do we just slide right back into what we used to be doing, right? That is what preparation is about. It's about being ready for something new, for something different, that we don't just slide right back. That pandemic wasn't just another time, that Christmas wasn't just another day, that all these things are significant and can change us if we allow them to. So, what do you want your life to look like on the other side of this? As a vaccine is starting to be distributed, as there is like this glimmer of light that things will go back, what do you want it to look like? And what are the steps needed to make it look like that? And for Advent, what do you want out of Christmas this year? What do you want it to look like on the other side of Christmas? What do you want to have changed in your heart, in your life? And what will it take to get there? What does it mean to you that God loves you personally enough that He would want to come live with you in human bodily form, right? What are the areas of your life that you are ashamed of, that you feel guilt about, that you feel are unworthy? And how does God, desiring to enter into those places, change you and change how you feel about yourself? So think about it. Do some prep work. Be ready for the other side. So that's our series on waiting. Next week, we'll have like a special Christmas video. It'll come out it's scheduled to come out on Christmas, but I know y'all will be doing something exciting and different. So maybe I'll have it come out on the Wednesday, on the 23rd. So that'll be a special Christmas video, and then we'll start a new series right after. It won't be quite the new year yet. Maybe we'll do one more one-off and then have a new series start with the new year. That feels a little more like, that's how it should be. But I'll talk with you soon, and I hope you are having a wonderful Advent.